Hey guys, new video here. Something I get asked a lot is about my loop filter. Why do I make like changes to the loop filter like on the fly? Also, like what are the strategies to go a little bit faster, and why am I like always talking about like loop filter and like editing things in, editing things out? So I thought this would actually help new players. It's a little bit more advanced because if you just started playing PoE in the last week or so, or like it's your first league, you're probably not gonna worry too much about this, but something to keep in mind for the future because eventually, time is a pretty important resource in this game, and if you can save yourself like 5-10 seconds of looking at items every single map, that's gonna really add up, right? And what do I mean by that? So I have some unique items here on the ground. I also have some hidden that we'll talk about in a second. And I think even if you're new, if you're spamming a map over and over again, you're just like building up your atlas, doing whatever content, even if you're delving, you're gonna see the same uniques pop up over and over and over and over again, right? And you'll notice that like a lot of time you won't even pick it up because you'll get so used to what that unique art looks like that you'll know what item it is before you identify it, right? It's kind of like the opposite of Diablo 2, where in like I think in Diablo 2, if you were like gambling or you found an item, let's say you found like I don't know, an Archon plate, or was it, or like an ancient plate or whatever, you didn't really know what the item was if it was unique until you ID'd it. So things with multiple bases, you had to ID first, so you had to pick it up. Well, and PoE is a little bit different. So if you look here, if I mouse over this ring right here, okay, you guys, wait, let me move this so that you guys can see this here. So if I mouse over this ring here, I know that's a barracks ring. If I mouse over this studded belt, like before I mouse over, I don't know what that studded belt is. It could be a Rislothus coil, which is very valuable, or it could be like a, what is this? This is a magnate, right? So when you mouse over it, you know exactly what it is. Same way, if a leather belt drops, you know it's if it is or is not a headhunter right away, right? Most times it's gonna be a gluttony, it's gonna be a worm's molt, it's gonna be all these other belts. But this is important because once you start to see yourself realizing that the same unique is dropping over and over and over and over and over, and you never pick it up, okay? Then it's time to probably do something about the loop filter, okay? And so the first thing, and there's a few steps to this, right? The first thing is like when you notice something dropping all the time, and you don't really want to like pick it up anymore, right? In a mapping scenario, you want to type in the base onto PoE Wiki just to be sure. So in here, I have the PoE Wiki right here, and so I see a studded belt. I type it in. There we go. There's a studded belt, and on this page here on the wiki, you are going to see every base that's possible to drop. And then you're going to ask yourself if you want to price check it with your trade macro, or go on the official trade site to check it. You can see that out of these, right, the magnate is probably going to be the most common one. It's that little 16 one. Rislothus is the valuable one. That's what's worth some money. So you're going to want to always show the spell, right? So this studded belt, you would never hide off your filter because of the price of the Rislothus. Now, there are other options like the Tactician and Nomad. These are prophesized, which means that you're not going to drop these normally ever in a mapping scenario, okay, or whatever content you're doing. It's just because you have to do a prophecy to activate them. So once you've checked to make sure that for the content you are doing, if there's no other valuable ones, then you can hide on your filter, okay? So this was a bad example because, again, it has a Rislothus coil, and so we are not going to hide it on the filter. But let's take a look at something else here. So if we take a look at what I'm hiding here, now you can see that I'm hiding a Ezomite Dagger, okay? So this one right here, once again, let's go through the motions so that we can kind of see what's going on here, right? So Ezomite Dagger here, and we see that it is actually the only unique that can drop from this is the Cold Iron Point, right? And we're like, okay, so if every time an Ezomite Dagger drops, it's a Cold Iron Point, is that worth picking up? And this is what you're gonna ask yourself throughout the league, every single league, when you're making your loop filter more and more strict. And so let's just like go through the motions. I'm a new player. I don't know what Cold Iron Point is, right? Like I might know that it's like a plus to physical skills weapon, but is it valuable? I don't know. So what you would do is you would go to the trade site, right? pathofexcel.com/trade. You would type in, once you identified it, of course, Cold Iron Point. You make sure you're in the right league. You're gonna search. Oh, it's 1C. A corrupted one is 3C. A corrupted one is 3C, right? What about a clean one, right? So you can like go through all the motions. You know, what if I drop a clean one? Because it's never gonna drop corrupted. Well, it could drop corrupted, but most of the time it's not. So corrupted, no. And you're gonna be like, oh, it's 1C, 5C, 8C. So cold iron point, you know, for me, I wouldn't pick it up because sometimes like because nowadays when we have like the full juice, leaving the map for that amount of money, like 1C, 5C, like to me, it's not worth it, right? But to you, if like your threshold is like 2C, then absolutely. If you're willing to leave a map for 2C or leave whatever content you're doing for 2C, then you would want it on your filter, okay? And I'll show you how to do that in a second here. So for me, it's not worth picking up, so I hide it on my filter so that in a mapping scenario, I never have to look at it. You'd be very surprised at when on a mini map, when there's icons and stuff, if something shows up on your filter and you need to glance at it or mouse over it or run back around, because let's say I'm clearing, I go over here, right? And then on the mini map, I can still see the icon, so I'm gonna run back and like check because I'm gonna forget. I'm like, oh, something on the filter, let me go back and check it. It wastes a lot of time. I promise you it does if you never pick these things up. So there's other examples here, and like for example this one, Prophet Crown. Why don't I pick up Prophet Crown? Well, because Prophet Crown is worthless off the Awakener drop after like the first couple days, and there weren't any other Prophet Crowns on the that could drop for the content I'm doing, which is mapping. So I'm going to show you guys like the easiest way and the safest way to do this, okay? And once again, as a new player perspective, it is going to be only for items that don't have, the rule to use is only for items that have no other possible unique properties. So for you guys, I would say let's take something called the Oro's Sacrifice. All right, it's an Infernal Blade. So I'm just going to show you guys right here. Give me a second. So I'm going to type in let's say a unique Infernal Blade drops, right? Why is it not Infernal Blade? Infernal. Is it not an Infernal Blade? What happened to it? It's an Infernal Sword. Okay, I'm sorry. If an Infernal Sword drops, right, most of the time in a map, 100% of the time in maps, okay, it will be an Oro's Sacrifice. Now, Oro's Sacrifice is pretty trash. You might argue there's like some corruptions you could do with it, Resolute Technique, etc. But Oro's pretty trash, and I'm not gonna waste time picking it up because it's a 2x4. It takes a lot of space in the inventory. So I would hide this off the filter, but then you run into issues where if there's any other good base on it when you're killing Shaper or Elder or Uber Elder and it drops, it'll be hidden as well, right? Because filters cannot filter by the icon art, because although you look at it, you would know exactly that this is a Star Force, that's an Oro's. The game itself can only go by the text, so if it shares a base, you're better off showing it, okay? So let me show you on things like Ezomite, the Ezomite Dagger, which only has one unique on it, and let's say you want to hide it. How would you do that? Well, this is a NeverSync filter here, which most people use. Actually, no, that's my filter. This is like a modified NeverSync, but what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go down to line, these are a little bit shifted, but you're going to look at line around like 800, 700, and most people won't be using like the really soft version. Let's say you're using strict. There is going to be a time when you're going to look for uniques, right? The category is uniques, tier 1, tier 2. Tier 1 and 2 are probably never going to be hidden. Now you're going to open this NeverSync filter in Notepad++. And why do I recommend this over FilterBlade for on the fly editing of uniques? Is with FilterBlade there's like loading, uploading, there's like things on the website now you can upload and always be subscribed. But this is like for your personal, like really, really quickly on the fly, you can do this in a map even, right? After you leave a map. And I find it to be quite a lot faster. So you're eventually going to find a section that just hides certain things. So for example, like for me, this part of the, I just realized that this is really small. Okay, so let's go down here. And when you, on your NeverSync filter, let's say you control F2207, which is a prophecy material uniques. These are uniques that are pretty shit on their own. And they are going to be prophesized, meaning you have to complete a prophecy quest to upgrade them into something that you might want, but those are usually garbage anyways, except for a few exceptions, which would be higher up in the filter. So let's just take this as an example. You're going to find the section in your filter, right, that has a hide. Now I've kind of added things here. So you're going to find where the hide is, and after you've gone through all the motions of the unique, you're going to take that unique name, and all you're going to do is you're going to type it into the end here. So for example, I just typed the Infernal Sword, right? The Infernal Sword example, for me, I'll do it, but I don't recommend you do it. We're going to take the Dagger example, and all you do is this Ezomite Dagger. That's it. That's all you do. And then you save, right? You click save. And what you do is in game, right? I can actually show you this live where I have it on mine, because I have it somewhere else, I think. Ezomite Dagger. Let me just show you like with a live example here. I spelled it wrong. Ezomite. Where is it? Control F. Okay, I think I just deleted it from that thing. So just for in this example right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it right here, right? So Ezomite Dagger. I think I actually had it somewhere up there. So I'll put Ezomite Dagger right here. I would save, and then when I reload, it would be hidden, right? Like I have it like somewhere up there, so this example is pretty bad. But you would hit this button. You would press Escape, Options, UI, and then you would hit this button. And if it says successful, okay, on the filter, then you know you've done it right. If you spelled it wrong or something, it'll tell you, and you can just go to your backup. There's other things to note here. So in a mapping scenario, if you find yourself just doing a lot of one type of content, you'll slowly learn that there's things that don't actually ever drop in maps because they're boss locked. And as you get way more comfortable and more experienced with this filter and get more used to like doing an item show hotkey on bosses and stuff, you can start even removing boss drops that are really valuable from the filter. Now this is very risky, okay? Because I'll give you an example. A Legion Sword, okay, let me show you it here. If I Control F, Legion Sword, okay, where is it? Whoa, what am I doing here? Legion, wait, Control F. Okay, so Legion Sword currently is not hidden anywhere on my filter. So I just did a Control F. And the reason for that is because Legion Sword is the savior, which is about 30 exalts. And if I drop a savior, or if I drop a Legion Sword in a map, it will never be the savior, okay? So if I'm only mapping on a certain character of mine, I will want to hide that from my filter, even though it could be a 30 exalt item from Awakener, okay? Because it only drops Awakener. So in that situation, you save yourself all the time. You have to look at a Legion Sword in a map, but on Awakener, you'd have to remember to press your item show hotkey, because it would be hidden, and then look there after the boss kill. Okay, like these are some weird examples. And also the other items that I have shown here, just to give you guys an example, let me move this over here, is let's take a look at these things here. So once again, 2 stone ring. There are things that have valuable bases, once again, that share the bad bases. So there's this 2 stone ring right here is shown because a Barracks Respite is expensive, and I want to see that. But also Call it Brotherhood, really with really nice rolls, can sell pretty well. But the Barracks Grip and the Barracks Pass, which this one is, I don't have an ID scroll, but it is. So this one is worthless, right? But when I mouse over, I would know that. So I don't hide this because it has a 2 stone ring base, a Barracks Respite that's very valuable. Now, the Twizel, why is the Twizel shown? Well, because in my filter, I've taken it upon myself to show always show the ID'd uniques, okay? Now, why are ID'd uniques important? It's for 2 reasons. Number one, showing all ID'd uniques, even though they're like complete garbage, will alert you faster in a map that you are running in a sextant called unidentified maps, right? Because you run that sextant, everything drops ID'd, and you'll be, oh, I forgot to run unID'd maps, right? And it's an alert to run the next 2 as unID'd, right? That's one reason. The second reason you might want to show the uniques, or the also the what's it called, the corruption identified uniques, is because corruptions can be very strong and implicit, can make it a lot more worthwhile when normally it's a complete garbage item. And another reason is that there's a thing called Awakener bonus right here when you kill a map boss, and there's an 8% chance that the boss will drop a unique item. And that's important because that unique item will always be identified. So unless you like mix up the section or something, you will know in your mind that that was a unique drop from the Awakener bonus, and it tells you that your Awakener bonus is both working, and you can kind of like judge in your head, like, hey, how many am I getting? Does it seem fair? Like, it makes you like more excited to kill bosses, I guess, because you know it's working. That's just a psychological thing, but you know, you see where I'm going from. So you can go ahead and do that as well. But I'm kind of like going on a rant about the loot filters. Let's go ahead and keep going with these. So right here, Exquisite Leather. I think Exquisite Leather shares a base. I actually should hide this because Exquisite Leather, I think, shares a base with like the tool chest, if I'm not wrong. But I could be wrong about that. So I'll check this and probably like hide this once I got Study Bells for Slothas. And then the Infernal Mantle I'm showing here. And the reason for this is because you see how this Infernal Mantle is 6-linked? Obviously, every filter will have 6 links highlighted higher in the filter because things that have filtering rules higher in the notepad will show up before things that are hidden later on. So, for example, if a 6 link, which will always have priority over most of the other items, it checks the 6 link first and it will show it. Whereas if I dropped a regular Infernal Mantle, it would not show. If this was not 6 linked, it would not show this item at all because the Infernal Mantle is a garbage unique that's not worth anything. So this is the reason I'm describing this is because you don't have to worry about if you hide something, what if it's 6 linked? What if it's 6 socketed, right? Because your filters will almost always have a rule that places in the higher priority list 6 links, 5 links, and then 6 sockets for the unique. So let's say you have a unique called you know, an ash rend or something like that, right? It's complete garbage. Well, actually not complete garbage item, but it's like less than 1 alchemy item. You're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna hide that. But what if it's a 6 link or a 6 socket or something? And once again, your filter will have rules in place if you're using never syncs to make sure that the highest value things will take priority over what you hide. So what I'm trying to say is that this method is pretty safe, right? I'm gonna do an example here. Let's just go through this Exquisite Leather to see if we want to hide this, okay, as this example here. So let me go to my loot filter here, and I'm gonna first get ready for it. I'm gonna go ahead and type in enter any of these hide filters. Oh, this one's a show, my bad. Where is it? Right here. I'm gonna type in Exquisite Leather. Okay, so Exquisite Leather is gonna go right there, as you can see, right? Exquisite Leather is typed in under a hide unique filter. And then I'm not gonna save it yet because I wanna do the check for you guys, just so I can like walk you through the motions of what you're checking. So let's say I encounter Exquisite Leather all the time. I'm sick of it dropping. I never pick it up. I know it's garbage. I'll check once more just to be sure. Exquisite Leather. And here are my options, okay? I have Kintsugi and I have Uriel's Fostering, right? So let's say I'm pretty sure one of these Uriel's Fostering is worth something, but the other ones are garbage. So, but as an example, let's say I didn't want any of these, right? These things don't matter to me at all. Okay, so I was actually wrong about the tools thing being here. So what I would do then is, once again here, I add Exquisite Leather underneath a hide section. I save, okay? I save, I go into game, options, and now watch the Exquisite Leather. You go into UI, scroll down. Wait, what happened here? Hold on, wait a minute. Okay, hold on. This is a completely scuffed example. What happened here? Is Exquisite Leather shown up here somewhere? Okay, this tutorial is kind of like scuffed actually. Exquisite. Oh, okay, it's shown up here. If you okay, if you have this anywhere higher up, once this is higher up in the filter, you have to delete it because this is at a higher line in the notepad, so it takes priority. Okay, playing the game 7 years by the way. So for this, I would have to delete that. I'll save it. Well, once again, this thing, it wouldn't mess anything up if you had it because it just shows it anyways. And then let me wait. I didn't save the filter. Oh no, not like this. Oh no, hold on a second. Wait a minute. Wait, did I spell it wrong? Exquisite Leather. Okay, hold on a second. Why is it's hidden? Wait a minute. Oh my god, I've been editing this in the wrong filter this entire time. Okay, I have 2 things here. One of them is like my personal, okay. such a okay, yeah. Well, okay, I'm gonna keep the video going because it's hilarious. Okay, new players, listen up. Sometimes you mess up. I have two filters. I was trying to do an example on a test filter of NeverSyncs to show players like what it would be like on a NeverSync filter, but then I had like my actual filter up as like a different thing. I had on the wrong thing. Okay, let's go over here. Control F, exquisite leather. Oh my gosh. Okay, so on this is like an example of a NeverSync filter, and right now you can see exquisite leather. This is like the influence one. So I gotta go down to the uniques, I think. Where is it? Okay, it's not on the thing at all. So we're gonna add it in manually. Okay, cool. Give me 1 second. Where's the uniques on NeverSync filter? Okay, completely skip out. Okay, right here. So you see this like giant hide section that I've been adding things to. So let's say I don't want exquisite leather. Okay, I might actually want to keep it on there because Kintsugi is actually kind of rare, even though it's not valuable. And then the Uriels, I think there's one of them that's actually expensive. But just as an example to show you guys that I know what I'm talking about. The reason that this is scuffed is because I was on the wrong notepad file. Okay, sorry about that. Exquisite leather. Okay, now watch this work. So I save it, right? Because as long as under the hide rarity unique, this is where you put the uniques that you checked and you know you don't want on your filter anymore. Okay, I saved it. Options, UI, scroll down because yeah, and then boom, it's gone. Okay, and to bring it back, right? To bring it back, all you gotta do. There's two ways you can do it depending on what color you want. So look at that. So we have exquisite leather here. It's hidden. To bring it back, all you have to do is go like this. Right? All you gotta do is delete it from your hide section, save, and boom, it's back as this. Okay, you see, it's very easy to switch out. And yeah, so that's basically how you do it. Once again, TLDR, if you have an item in a map that you keep picking up and you never ever pick it up anymore, you don't ever want to pick it up anymore because you know it's going to be that shitty item, but it's being shown in your filter, that's a waste of time. It should be removed, right? So step number 1, you go to PoE wiki. Okay, you type the base item in here. You take the base item in here, exquisite leather. You check to make sure that the ones that the base version uniques are ones that you absolutely do not want in any situation. That's step number 2. And step number 3, you go into your file, and then if you're this is pretending that we're using NeverSyncs filter. You go down to the unique section somewhere around line like 4,000 something. Sorry, yeah, line 4,000 something, 600, and you are gonna find the hide section of any of the unique items. It doesn't matter which one, really. Just keep putting them in the same place so you know where you put them all if you're newer. And then you're gonna go in the end here and gonna type in just quotations, and then the name of the base item. And then end quotations, right? So like something like that. And then you're gonna save. And then step number 4 is you're gonna go to options, UI, and then see? So once again, I'm gonna just show you here. I checked it. I made sure I don't want any of the reels as an example. Exquisite, spell it wrong. Exquisite leather. Save. And close out my notepad. Refresh, and it's gone. See that? So there's also other rules that I'll quickly mention because it might be important to some newer players. So there's a lot of common uniques that you don't want to hide, okay? Trust me, because there's these uniques that you're going to see 100, 200, 300 times before it becomes a good one. And these are things like Jade Amulet, maybe in certain leagues, the Amber Amulet, things like maybe a Topaz Ring. So I'll give you the example. So a Jade Amulet, 300, you're gonna get 300 Karui wards and like that really triangle green one before you get a Halcyon, which is a multiple exalt item from it can drop from a tool breach in any map, doesn't matter where. And it can also drop in the tools breach stone. Okay, so because the Halcyon exists, you cannot hide the Jade Amulet on your filter because then it would hide the Halcyon when it drops, and it will drop eventually from a tool breach. Okay, but it's just very rare. So as a new player, just because you see something a lot, this is why you make sure you go check the thing, okay? Because you might think in your mind, I know for a fact there's no good one there because it's always the same one, but it could be something else. Like Amber Amulet is like Xopaz Blood, it's like 40C now, whatever. Topaz Ring is a common one. Kikurutsu is gonna drop all the time. You're gonna get frustrated about that. But then one time you might drop an Astral Projector from something, and then that Astral Projector Topaz Ring is gonna be like what 10 plus exalts. and also things that might, things like gold rings might be Anvarius, but if it drops a Venor's Gamble, if you ID it and it's a good roll, many exalts, right? So always make sure before you hide something, even if you're absolutely positive there's no other base, just go check the wiki real quick before you add that base to a hide feature. And also jewels, right? Because like jewels, you might be like, oh man, these jewels are always garbage, I always keep seeing the same ones. But for Cobalt, Crimson, and Viridian, there's gonna be a jewel in each one of those that is worth a lot. So you want to show the jewels. Don't hide your jewels, okay, under any circumstances. So going along with this, I guess the reason I'm kind of pushing this is because a lot of people struggle in maps in different ways, right? Whether you feel like you're slow, whether you feel like you're bad at picking up items, whether you feel like, the fog from Delirium League, this league, is going to outrun you, or like you can't keep up, there's too much looting, it's super annoying to loot, you get RSI, repetitive stress injury, from clicking too many items. There's like all like splinters all over the place from Alba, but that's being fixed this weekend. There's a lot of reasons why you might want to be a little bit faster, okay? And this is one of the absolute best ways, because my vision for the filter, and I don't always follow this because it's still early in the league, is that if an item pings your filter, whether with a minimap icon, a sound, a big glowy thing, if it shows up on your loot filter, it should at the very minimum be worth mousing over. That's the hallmark of a good loot filter, okay? So you should ask yourself these questions at all times. Any item that drops, number one, would I mouse over that in every scenario, right? And would I and do I know what that thing is, and would I never pick that up, in any scenario? So if it's the first one, you can keep it on the filter, right? If you can mouse over it because of a special reason for yourself, and you pick it up every single time or look at it every single time, then that's good. If you run into a situation like, for example, Wisdom Scrolls, right, after like a month, if you find yourself dropping Wisdom Scrolls and you never pick them up, why is it on your filter, right? If you find yourself dropping, in this case, like in my case, every time an Ezomite Dagger, if I were to mouse over, I know it's a cold iron point, and I'll never pick it up, then that should be instantly removed from my filter because it'll save me multiple seconds every time it drops, okay? So you should be asking yourself this every item, and that's why you see people like crazy loot filters on YouTube and stuff, there's like showing everything, and they don't pick up like 99% of it, right? It's completely waste, and you're gonna actually like miss items in there because there's so much clutter on the screen. So with that said, just keep asking yourselves, is this an item that I would pick up or not, or at least mouse over? And if not, try to remove that from your filter in some way. And I don't want to go too much more into filter because once again, it is a little bit more complicated than it looks. But this method, right? Check wiki, add it to the hide section of the unique section on NeverSyncs filter, because you probably will be using NeverSyncs filter if you're watching this video, and then save yourself a lot of time. I promise in the long run, it will help you out a whole lot. Okay, a quick few announcements if you got to this point. Big nerfs coming tonight. It's currently April 1st, April Fool's, but there's a huge nerf coming to things like Purposeful Harvey for certain builds. So be careful, they'll get scammed on that, guys. Also, the trade API was a little bit wonky the last few days because of PoE overlay pinging the servers way too much. If you're a newer player, always scroll down on your trades, okay? Always scroll down on your trades, because, and what I mean by that is when you go to the official site, and you should be using the official, let me just show you this real quick. This is very important at this point in the league with the trade API the way it is, okay? Let's say you're buying Simulacrums. Simulacrums are ADC if you search for them regularly, but if I do this, if I click on Simulacrum, and this is how most new players will search, right? I kind of got debated in my last video like this too, because I was trying to make that quick video. Where's the Simulacrum? Right here. If you click on the Simulacrum and you click search, which is how most new players will do it, the Simulacrum apparently is 2 exalts for 3. Right, 2 exalts for 3. So exalts about 150 C right now. That's 300 C for 3, so 100 C each, right? And you would think when you scroll down, look at this, that's crazy, right? Look at all these like exalt values here. Oh, I keep scrolling, it's still exalts. So, but if you actually look here, Simulacrum, if you search it regularly and you just scroll, it's like 80 something C. So you're losing out on like 20 C if you do it that way. And there's also other things like there's also other scams where someone price fixes something. So like, this is just things that this one probably won't be price fixed because people usually playing this build know what they're doing. But cost freeze balance, if I search for this, and what I mean by scroll down every time is, don't just look at, like, you see how my browser is zoomed in because I like just like the big images, and I can only see one here. So when you're trying to sell, let's say you drop a Cosprey's and you want to sell this, okay? Don't just look at the first one and sell it and undercut that guy because it could be a price fix. Always scroll down and look at other things. You see how like, and also like the C value can be very different because the trade site doesn't know what the C to exalt ratio is at the current time. It's usually a little bit behind. So because of that, the C might be a little bit further behind than the exalt. So like comparative, you might be able to say something. But yeah, just don't get scammed, guys. And thanks for watching my video. Okay, I'll see you guys next time. Okay, bye guys, bye.